Ho ho ho! I guess it's showtime. You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of BAM! Olympian Multimedia, giving you another segment of Get Things Done. This particular segment, it comes from a request from people that I've talked to, networked with. And the question that was asked is it possible to create a multimedia workspace within a confined space? Because basically they want to get into doing multimedia, the photos, the videos, the music, but they're not working with a lot of space to begin with. They're very limited, and obviously you're going to need some equipment. Equipment takes up space. The workspace to allow you to do the work is going to take up space. So is there a way to manage that and still get some work done and work on, accomplishing your goals regarding getting them projects done? Of course it is. Let's take a quick gander of A-La Studio, the home headquarters for Olympian. As you get this quick little overview, as you guys will probably already know, I work in the confines of my basement in my home. As you can see, it's a pretty decent sized basement. It's not small, it's not overly big either. But I make it work. As you notice through that little gander, that overview, it feels like each part of this basement down here, this studio, it has its own setup, its own space, based off what is getting done within that space. So if you look in this corner right here, this is where you probably seen through the World with the World video series that we do. This is pretty much the main corner or space that we utilize to do the interviews. And you don't need a whole lot to bring a lot of texture and flair into your videos or your photos. Trust me on that. I know you just noticed there's quite a bit of equipment down here and quite a bit of different accessories and components and whatnot. But obviously, I'll tell you this right off rip. If you do have the means and the money for you to get a bigger space so that you can do a more lavish and lush layout, by all means, do it if it's within your budget. But never feel like you can't put together a workspace, especially if you're trying to do multimedia stuff, and you can't work it to your advantage. If you notice here, a quick way of just adding some texture, it's just putting some wall art. It's pretty inexpensive. You guys know I'm a huge fan of wall art. So clearly you could just use the wall in itself. But again, you always want to add that flair, that little bit of kick to your photos, a little bit of kick to your video footage. The quickest way to do it is just some wall art. Some lightings that you can use. You can find different things that kind of incorporate what you're trying to do in your videos and your photos. Just do your research. You could definitely use little props like these as well. A big component of Olympian is with the music. Look right here, we got another prop to show for the World with the World. And then we got our emblem right there, our logo. Little things like these add so much in a very inexpensive way, and it's not taking up much space, right? You notice here, I used the two bookshelves, kind of like a border, to kind of set up the segment and keep it in its proper frame. You guys know I'm also an author, so it kind of makes sense, obviously, to put some books. These are some of my favorite books and comics. So we got that set up here as well. Definitely, I encourage you to get some merch. Create some merch for yourself. And again, these are simple ways that you can utilize, right, to add some flair and some kick to your footage. Even here on this side over here, we got all of our equipment right here for the videos and for the photos. It's cool to put that on there. People like to see what's going on behind the scenes, what kind of stuff that you utilize. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool to put that in your footage. You don't necessarily have to like go ahead and try to hide that out of your way unless you're looking for something specific. You see, we got the backdrops. Of course, if you have the room, it's probably more preferable to put it up on some riggings and putting your backdrop alongside there with the rigging. But if not, you can just pin it to the wall. And again, this is just a quick way of adding flair and adding some texture to your video footage. Clearly, if I'm doing an interview with music, with a musical artist, or some type of music producer, this would be cool as a backdrop to put on, since this is associated with music. And then backdrops, you could get them as low as like $15, $20. Very inexpensive within the budget. Wall art, you could get some really nice wall art between $25 and $40. And that includes the lighting as well. So again, these are just little things within your budget that can work. And again, it gives some nice different feels to your videos and your photos. If we come on down, you see we got the green screen. But the neat thing about this is, notice the spacing. Yes, we got this big old pool table in the middle. You know, we like to get it in here and there between sets. You know, get a little bit of time to relax. You know, refresh your mind. You know, put some bets on the table. You know, never mind about that. But in any event, this is another way of adding more texture and another outlet, another frame for you to do videos. Underneath here is just the wall itself that I could use. But we also have this green screen to do green screen footage. Of course, you could get the one that has the rigging that allows you to bring the screen down and scroll the screen up. It'll be on like a tripod type setting. You can put that in the corner. They're expensive though. So again, always keep in mind your budget. But there's nothing wrong with just pinning it up against your wall. It still would do the job utilizing the green screen. I could literally roll this up and put another backdrop. And I quickly created another set to do the video. I got the pool table. Utilize what you do have in your space. You don't necessarily have to be like, oh my goodness, I gotta move everything out of the way in order to do some videos, do some photos. You can literally utilize this. Yes, the pool table's big, but it creates a nice border for you if you wanted to do some video work right in front of you, right? Then also too, this would be a great setup to, bam, you could do some photos real quick in different types of poses. So keep that in mind as well. If there's certain things within your setup or space in which you're trying to create your studio, just use it to your advantage. You don't necessarily have to put it out your way. You notice over here we got the workstations. Again, guys, I said this before. To start a multimedia business is all dependent on how many people's involved, obviously. You guys know we do have several members of Olympic Multimedia team. So it's apropos for us to have multiple workstations. But you don't necessarily have to have that. You could, if you're just working by yourself or you're working with someone else, you could literally just create a small space in the corner for their laptop or their tablet or whatever electronic device that they're using. You can set that little space for them and then just have a main workstation. But as you can see, I still created enough space here where it doesn't feel congested. You know, so you know my main partner in crime. Again, shout out to JSO, aka Alpha. This is his main workstation that he likes to work in, so he can work over here, get some things done. This whole workstation is set up to do everything: photos, videos, music, graphic design, the whole kit and caboodle. But I can be over here. And I have the luxury of working over here. And again, we're not in each other's way. We got our own space to go ahead and do what we got to do. Each workstation is capable of doing everything needed as far as editing is concerned. Then the beauty of it is, being that I worked the space in between the workstations, I have another set. I have another set to do videos and photos and whatnot. I love the brick. We got like a little stage set up here. And then, you know, we got the professional lighting. Definitely, if you're looking for, especially in a space, confined space, or you're not working with a huge workspace area, to find yourself some professional lighting that's portable and adaptable to your space, that you're able to put it in multiple angles and it's not going to be out of your way. And then I can utilize this set as another way to do interviews, photos, or whatever. We got some, again, merch. Shout out to the missus for doing her thing. She's the Cricket Queen, for looking us out and doing this kind of promotional stuff for us. And just using bookshelves. Something simple as that, just setting up. We got some more musical equipment over here, some more MIDI controllers, keyboards, and stuff like that over there. And it just adds quick texture. And then the great thing about it is I can interchange them, guys. I could literally just take this out, fling it to the side, put something else here, depending on what photos or what videos I'm doing over here. Again, you're making the most of your space. You can see it's not huge over here, but it still feels like, man, I got a little bit of room to roam here. So that's just something to keep in mind. Especially too, like the setup, as you notice here with this workstation, you notice it has the L-shaped desk. They're definitely recommended, especially if you're doing a lot of things. You're gonna have a lot of like musical type equipment or components and stuff. L-shaped desks definitely work great. And then you can kind of caddy corner them a little bit, and it provides a little bit more structure, a little bit more room for you to do other things as well. And then you notice down here I got the bar. We definitely, you guys seen, we did some video work up here as well. Again, enough room for people to sit up here. Doesn't need to be so much like, you know, we're banging elbows with each other. And again, it provides texture. I know you've seen the videos where I'm utilizing the whiteboard. So again, I'm making the most of it. It feels like each section that I'm showing here, that I just showed you on this tour, it just has its own feel to it, so that each video looks different. And if you utilize wall art, different types of props, whether you're going to buy them or make them on your own, it just adds that little bit extra to give it that, whatever you're trying to do, its own feel. And then you notice at the end over here, you know we do the miniature photography, so this has its own setup as well. And again, it's not, if you're going to have moving pieces as far as like multiple people in your team and you need them to do different things, you notice workstation. If somebody like the person manning the camera, shout out to Nani the artist, you know who she is. You know, I have her doing some miniature photography projects. She has her own section to do that. Jay-So has his own section. I have my own section. If we're going to do some filming, we have more than enough room, despite the fact that this basement not that big, to allow us to do different things down here without us all being all up on each other. Even something as simple as this, guys. We turn around. I know I got Nani all in a dizzy.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
But right here, even something simple as these pillars. I know Nani's done a great job. Hopefully y'all checked out some past videos where Nani was doing some film work, showing me and Jason in our element doing the music, and how she was able to utilize just as simple as these pillars to create that texture, some nice little film effects as she was filming us. So again, this came with the house. I can't do nothing with this, guys. This pillar's going to stack. You know what I mean? But it can be a little bit of an obstacle because they're pillars and they're kind of smack right in the middle. But always try to look for a positive. Take that positive out of a negative and kind of look at it like, man, how can I actually utilize this to my benefit? So just look at it that way too. If you're working in a confined space, just take a step back and just look at what space that you got and just be like, how can I really utilize this to my benefit, man? Because it's not a bad space. And I really can do some things with this, you know? But it goes without saying, it's indicative and based off your budget. So I definitely recommend you guys, please don't go over your budget. Stay within your confined budget, however you got that set up. It's okay to go over time and pick up equipment. Remember, you just seen a lot of pieces of equipment down here, but that's not necessarily needed for you to start your multimedia business. Get what you need just to get things started, and then over time, you could kind of build on it, and then look towards trying to get a bigger space. Like we're doing currently right now. We're trying to look this, expand our horizons, go into a bigger venue. But that comes with time, so just stay patient, guys. But definitely, if you're working with a small space, you can make it work for you and do your multimedia projects. So, that's it. I just wanted to enlighten you guys when it comes to this. You could definitely do it. If I could do it, and you know how crazy I am, you could do it too. So, the only thing left to say is, before that, I gotta give you that reminder. It's Zeus Cruz of BAM! Olympian Multimedia. And the only thing left to say is get things done. Check you later.